Hi everyone. A few of you watching this have been to Keya Golf Club and to the KBC Augusta tournament. I know a lot of you follow me on Twitter or read my blog at asianturfgrass.com and will be familiar with some of the things I've shared about the tournament in the past. This year's tournament was really interesting, even though I was following from a condominium in Bangkok, watching it on the KBC live stream, and helping Andrew out a little bit with summaries of performance data that he and Nikolai and the course maintenance staff were collecting. I had my clay camera with me in the condo, wishing I was at the tournament with it to measure the firmness of the greens. I want to share a few things about this year's tournament. A little bit about media attention, a lot about ball reaction and surface hardness of the greens during the tournament, and also a bit about ball roll on zoysia greens. The grass and the course maintenance staff get a lot of media attention at this tournament every year. The Japanese media are fantastic at finding interesting stories, and the zoysia greens at Keya Golf Club are an interesting story. Fine-bladed zoysia is called korai, and although this grass is common on golf courses in Japan, the KBC Augusta tournament is the only regular stop on the Japanese men's professional tour with korai greens. The unique characteristics of this grass as a putting surface make for one story, and then with Andrew McDaniel as the greenkeeper, that makes another story because foreign greenkeepers are unheard of on Japanese golf courses. This year was also the first KBC Augusta tournament to be played after the course underwent a complete bunker renovation during the past 2 winters, and there was a lot of anticipation for how the pros would negotiate the renovated course. When Andrew was on the Hot Golf Show, naturally the very first thing mentioned were the korai greens at Keya Golf Club.
このグリーンが特に特徴ありまして、超高速の高麗グリーンをこれを生んだ名物キーパーの方来てくれてます。アンドリアどうぞ。アンドリアマクダニエルさんです。すいません、ありがとうございます。いえいえ、こちらこそ。アンドリュー、日本語大丈夫ですか？なんとか。はい。
And the commentary about the golf during the telecast invariably discusses the grass. They are saying here that Keya Golf Club has real korai greens. This grass has got grain, they've got slope, and they are truly difficult to putt. As I was watching, a word that came to mind about the playing conditions this year was inexplicable. Now I don't mean that literally. The word choice in my own mind would be more like pleasantly surprised. But inexplicable is a catchier word, and when the ball was reacting perfectly on the greens, and when there had been only one sand top dressing this year, and a single verticutting, and 0 hollow tine cultivation, and 0 solid tine cultivation, then inexplicable has a nice ring to it. It would be repetitive to discuss bad weather and golf tournaments because that happens all over the world. In this case, I do have to mention rain, however, because it's relevant to the ball reaction clips I'm going to show. It has often been rainy the week of KBC Augusta, but this year was exceptional. There were 827 millimeters of rain, 32 inches from August 1st until the start of the tournament. During one stretch, it rained for 11 straight days. It rained right up to the start of the tournament, which happened to be delayed for a couple hours because of heavy rain and lightning strikes. Then, for good measure, there was heavy rain again on Thursday night. So there's all this rain, even for Keya. 827 millimeters in less than a month leading into the tournament is a lot. And remember, the greens didn't get cored this year, and they only got a single application of sand top dressing in June. The soil water content was at field capacity and had been saturated all month. So how was the ball going to react? This is what I was really interested to see, and this is where the word inexplicable came to mind. Because on mid to long iron shots to flat greens, the ball bounced forward. The defending champion, Kazuki Higa, lands one pin high with a mid-iron on 12 and it just rolls off the back of the green. Here he is with a short iron into an upslope on 5 and he can spin it back. And this year's champion, Scott Vincent, also has great control with a wedge from the fairway into an upslope, stopping the ball right by the hole. For short iron shots out of the rough, one needed to land the ball in just the right spot to get the ball anywhere near the hole. Here's Ryo Ishikawa on 14 with a spectacular shot. What I was really watching for is how the ball reacts as it hits the green. Remember, this is on greens that were completely saturated at the start of the tournament, that had gotten only one sand top dressing all year, and no coring or spiking. I keep bringing this up and I am making this video to put this on the record, and then I'll stop talking about it for a while. But I can't help but think that this approach to turfgrass management, of growing grass and mowing it and rolling it and playing golf on it, without ripping it up and spreading sand every Monday, might work at a lot more places. In fact, I know it does, and that's why I'm often bewildered at the quantity of holes that get punched into and the amount of sand that gets spread over perfectly good putting surfaces. I used to recommend a lot of cultivation and sand top dressing myself, and the word inexplicable comes to mind again because 10 years ago I would have been insistent that removal of soil organic matter by intensive hollow tine aerification followed by heavy sand top dressing to fill all of the holes would be just the treatment needed on the greens at Keya Golf Club. But remember that intriguing core grass on the greens that gets all the media attention? The easiest way to get a perfect roll, as Andrew has found, is to mow it and roll it, not to punch holes and to sand it. And with the ball rolling true like this, it's obvious that for these greens at least, it's not necessary to do a lot of the disruptive maintenance work that I used to think was essential. The way to find out what is essential for any property is to measure the playability and to keep track of a few soil and plant parameters that are directly related to the playability. That's what Andrew does at Keya. It is something I have explained in the Flying Blind video, and it is something I write and speak about on a regular basis. I hope you'll be intrigued by this, and I'll be interested to hear if you can achieve something like these inexplicable results yourself. Check out the video description for links to more information about these topics, and thank you for watching.